Okay, let's unpack this. The mission today is a deep dive into a piece of discontinued hardware,
Right.
but it perfectly captures the promise and, the immediate peril of high bandwidth USB-C. We're talking about the Kramer KDOCK-4.
It is such a fascinating case study. I mean, you can't buy one now, but its specs are like a roadmap of the engineering challenges of that era.
And this wasn't just for regular consumers, was it?
Not at all. Kramer was really aiming this at corporate IT. You can tell from the TAA compliance.
TAA compliant.
Yeah, it meets the strict rules for U.S. government procurement, and they backed it with a 7-year warranty.
7 years. Okay, so that immediately tells you this was not some cheap novelty gadget.
Exactly.
So here's where it gets really interesting for me. The port explosion. Just the sheer number of connections from one single input.
It's ambitious, to say the least. You had 3 different video outputs.
HDMI, DisplayPort, and kind of surprisingly old school VGA.
All at once, yeah. And then for data, you had 2 USB 3.0 ports
Yeah.
at 5 gigs a second, plus dedicated SD and micro SD slots.
And the 3.5 millimeter audio jack, which so many laptops were starting to ditch.
Right. But notice that third data port.
The USB 2.0.
That wasn't them being lazy. That was a really deliberate trade-off. They had to manage a limited amount of bandwidth, so they relegated one port to an older standard just to be able to say they had it.
That's a key insight. You can see the compromise baked right into the design. But let's talk about video, because that's where the laws of physics really hit home.
Absolutely. It promised 4K video.
But there was a big but.
A very big one. You could only get that max resolution, 3840 by 2160p, with one single display plugged in.
And even then,
Only at 30 hertz. That 30 hertz ceiling is the giveaway that video was sharing the pipeline with everything else.
So what happened when you tried to use more than one monitor with its multi-stream transport tech?
Well, you're basically splitting that single pipe into smaller streams.
And the consequences.
Resolution tanks. For 2 displays, you're down to 1920 by 1080p at 60 hertz.
And if you dared to plug in that third VGA monitor,
Then the VGA output dropped even further to 1280 by 720p. It's, the clearest possible demonstration of the bandwidth bottleneck.
so, okay, the video side showed the physical limits. But if we switch gears to its foundation's power and networking, that's where it really delivered on that high-end corporate promise.
This is where it shined, yeah. The USB-C pass-through charging supported a full 100 watts of power delivery.
Which was huge back then. Most hubs were, 60 watts?
Exactly. This could actually power a demanding machine like a MacBook Pro while running everything else.
And the Ethernet port wasn't just fast, it was professional.
Right, gigabit speed, so 1,000 megabits per second. But it also had features you just don't find on consumer hubs. Things like Wake on LAN and PXE boot.
KXE boot is for enterprise IT, right?
It is, yeah. It lets technicians remotely manage a machine over the network before the operating system even loads. So it just confirms this was built for corporate desks, not dorm rooms.
So when you put it all together, what do we have? The KDOCK-4 was this sophisticated aluminum bridge trying to leap over the limits of its time.
I like that analogy. It consolidated everything. Enterprise networking, 100W power, high-speed data.
But the moment you tried to use its full expansion potential with multiple displays, those bandwidth trade-offs became severe.
It really showed that while the promise of USB-C feels limitless, the physics of shared bandwidth are very, very real. And that raises a really important question for you listening to this.
What's that?
When you're looking at any modern hub that advertises a huge number of ports, you have to ask yourself, is the port count more important than performance? Are you willing to accept a lower resolution or a slower refresh rate to get that extra plug? Or should you maybe find a simpler hub that's dedicated to maintaining peak video fidelity?
A classic quantity versus quality trade-off.
Exactly. And that's something crucial to think about before your next tech purchase.